Hey guys, welcome to a new video. Today we are going to talk about Russo Gambit. Is this move f5 for black, move number 3. This is very effective. The performance for black in these positions is 51. This is really significant because, for example, when we play Yoko Piano, black is performing 47%, and when we play two knights, black is performing 44%. So just to put you in context of what 51 means for black, is a very serious performance. So among beginners and club players, when we play this move, we perform really well. It's very effective, and also, of course, it's dynamic, aggressive, interesting, tricky. So we're going to cover this idea, f5 in this position. Basically, whenever we play this, the most common move is going to be e takes f5, which is actually very dubious. And in this position, we are going to continue with the move e4. The idea when we play this move is that we're trying to distract the central pawn to take the center with two pawns. And also later we're getting the pawn back quickly, very often or sometimes. So that's like the main idea. But of course it gets really interesting. Let's see what happens. The most common move for white here is pawn takes pawn. And here we are going to play the move e4. Basically we are getting a tempo, the knight is in trouble, they cannot really move it ahead. So basically they need to go back. Although there's a line that we're going to cover where they have something interesting there, but the most common move is actually knight g1 in general. So in this position, for example, after knight g1, they clear this line, so we must be a little careful. I suggest here the move knight f6 to control here, because this is unstoppable anyway. Here they can play d3, you can play d5, and after bishop here you get the pawn back. And this is just great for black. We have everything, development, center, everything we need. So black is clearly better in this position, and I can tell you this is going to happen a lot in your games when you play Russo Gambit. So after f5, pawn takes e4. Also other moves they can try, for example, are queen e2, which is not really creating too many problems, it's spinning. But basically with queen e7 we defend the pawn, we get rid of the pin, and again they have the same problem, they need to move the knight. Actually the queen is attacked now, so they are in big trouble. It doesn't really change much. And the other move I was talking about earlier is knight d4. It's something they can actually trade. It's probably the best move for white, but they don't play it too much, right? It's very hard to find. The idea is that they clear the line and they can check. So it's a little dangerous to capture that knight. So in general we can play knight f6 here, controlling again the check. Now we are actually taking the knight, so they could capture, we capture back. And we are playing the move d5 very soon. In general, black is a little better here. This is unstoppable. Probably we get the pawn quickly. Development center, everything we need. So that's about this line when they play pawn takes pawn. Other things they can try in this position are, for example, knight c3, which is very bad. Here we just capture. And if they capture back, we play d5. And general, decisive advantage for black. Again, it's something your opponents are going to play a lot. And another move here is d3. And basically the idea here, guys, is going to be we're going to play the move bishop c5. And we're going to get into something we call Lucini Gambit. I don't want to get too much into Lucini Gambit. I have already a video in the channel about this line. But I'm just going to show you the main idea. So they can play knight g5. And they will play it a lot. It's the most common move because they think they are winning here for some reason. But actually we just play f4, and this is part of the plan. Now we interfere the bishop, we are getting the knight. They need to continue. In general, they will continue with knight f7, and we will play queen h4. We are attacking here, so maybe they castle. Is the most common move one more time, and we are playing knight f6. Usually they think there's no problem. They will capture the rook, and then we play knight g4. We are threatening checkmate over here, but also we have a lot of pressure on f2. So this position is actually already very good for black. They could try h3. We play knight f2, and again we are taking the queen. We are discovering. So very often they need to sacrifice the rook. We just capture. They play something like king h1, and here we need to continue with the attack. We need to reactivate the threats, so we need more pieces. So the other piece is going to be the bishop coming over these squares. So how do we do that? Well, we just play d5. There are some ways to win actually, but d5 is very clear, and when they capture we play f3. The queen cannot capture because we are mating here. So they can capture with the pawn, but then bishop h3, and we are mating here this time. They cannot defend against this. This is just winning the game for black. So that's about this line when they play the move d3. As I said, Lucini Gambit, you can get more information about it if you check the video about Lucini Gambit in my channel. And the best move for white is something we need to cover. Of course, they don't play too much the best idea, but something we need to be aware of. So they can try d4 here, and here the idea is going to be we just capture the pawn. And again, the best move is something super weird, something they won't find on the board for sure. They can play it if they know the line, but in general, if you don't know the line, you don't play this move. And there is this move, e5. That's the best move. And the idea is that they are preventing our development. They are taking the center, they are taking the pawn later. So yeah, they get something interesting there. We can try d5, and if they capture, we can play queen takes pawn. This position is interesting. We capture with the queen because we are trying to castle queenside very quickly. We don't want to stay with the king in the center. So again, complicated. I guess white could be a little better at some point. But the good thing is that this is super unclear, and also another good thing is that they don't play this too much. I mean, they only play it very rarely. So after e takes d4, the other move white can try instead of e5. A more normal move is knight takes d4. And in this case, well, we just develop quickly, right? That's the idea. That's the spirit of the gambit. Quick development and activity. So we just play here knight f6. And the most common move here is knight takes pawn. And here we can try this nice idea, d5, because now the bishop could be taking that knight on f5. So after d5, they can capture. We can capture the knight. And they can capture the knight, so they get, the piece back. And here we're going to trade queens and castle queenside with check. So queen takes and castle queenside with check. So this position is going to be a little complicated. I guess white is going to be very slightly better or something. But, we have activity. Probably we will have a pawn down because they have 6 versus 5. But we have activity and development. So it's compensated. It's not really the worst line for black. So it's totally playable. One more time, they won't get into this too much, but it's something we need to be aware of. So this is what we call ROUSSEAU Gambit. Let me know, guys, if you have any question or anything I can help with. See you in the next.